This is Ingraham from Washington tonight. Smears from the thought police. That is the focus of tonight's angle. Now, just as we expected, almost within minutes of the horrific and terrifying attack on Paul Pelosi, Democrats saw a political opportunity. Now, this couldn't be seen as simply a reprehensible assault by a fringe lunatic on an elderly man. It had to be portrayed as a referendum on the entire Republican Party and then as a justification to limit political speech. We address these in reverse order.
The reality is this was an individual who was radicalized. He was radicalized to commit an act of political violence. And we have to ask, why was he radicalized? Why are we in American democracy feeding these outlandish conspiracy theories? Why are they festering on social media? And we all need to take accountability. The social media companies, the role of some of the media, and certainly elected officials and people in the Republican Party who've been fueling some of these conspiracies.
Oh, Ro. These types of baseless, defamatory statements, they were echoed all weekend long. Now, notice the would-be speech police, they never name names because they can't. Now, which Republican official or candidate has ever condoned or in any way encouraged any type of violent assault? Can you start naming them? I can't. And by the way, I don't recall liberals pushing for accountability when a Bernie Sanders supporter shot up a congressional baseball game. And if heated, angry rhetoric is actionable, where were the Democrats after these comments?
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
And you will pay the price. And this summer, of course, a man was arrested near Kavanaugh's house with a plan to assassinate him. Now, New York Magazine called Republicans' criticism of what Schumer said, a smear, and defended Schumer's speech as clearly nonviolent. Now, Democrats' warped view of the First Amendment is that it protects their speech, no matter what. So they can lie and they can say Donald Trump colluded with Russia, or they can call him a fascist or a white nationalist, all with impunity. But Republicans calling out Schumer, Biden, or Pelosi for corruption, well, that's dangerous, and there needs to be accountability. And heaven forbid, if Republicans actually win, then the world, it's coming to an end.
The only way this will stop is if sensible Republicans get control of their party back. I don't predict that, but that is the only way this will change. And it's going to get worse.
There's no reason to think this will stop or this will diminish without a much clearer statement from the leader of the Republican Party. Anything we are getting, as Juliet said, a wink and a nod and a kind of condoning through silence.
This is going to continue. We're close to an election now. You have ads up with people shooting guns. You have, it's just rampant.
It's just rampant. Condoning it. Now, are these folks not aware of how rough the rhetoric has been throughout our almost 250-year history? They said Andrew Jackson was a king who was going to destroy America. They said Reagan was a warmonger, hell-bent on using nukes. They claimed that FDR was destroying the government and planned to rule as a dictator. And of course, Lincoln, he was savagely attacked even by his own side. And then don't forget, John Adams passed the Sedition Act so he could punish his critics. And then the Federalist Party was eventually destroyed. So my question tonight is, do the Democrats want to imitate that disaster? Because they're on their way. But never-Trumpers apparently aren't interested in history, because for them it's all about feelings, and they feel like they can read Republicans' minds about Paul Pelosi.
Everything is, yes, this is awful, but no, violence is not acceptable, but Democrats do it too. Progressives do the same thing, and they'll cite Scalise, they'll cite others, but that's not leadership. America, what do you think they're going to do with it when they get it? What do you think they're going to do? So
they're only going to get worse, Michael.
If you were wondering what their closing argument was for the midterms, you just heard it. It's only going to get worse. Worse than what? Biden's leadership? where real median incomes have been declining since the beginning of the year? Or where we're approaching winter with potential for crippling shortages for diesel fuel and heating oil? Or maybe worse than the rampant crime that's plaguing cities from Oregon all the way to Pennsylvania. Of course, those aren't problems. But Americans are smarter than this, aren't they? For all the most of the rabid leftists, their bread and butter economic issues for the American people, the ones that are front in mind, that are the ones that affect us every day. And most of us are sick and tired of paying through the nose when just a few years ago life was affordable and real incomes were actually rising. According to the latest ABC News Washington Post poll, among all voters, the economy was the top issue, with 84% saying it was highly important. This was closely followed by education and schools, with 77% calling those highly important, then inflation and crime, with 69%. High-paid campaign strategists, though, convinced Democrats that with the country on the brink of recession, flooding the airwaves with ads about abortion and January 6th, that was key to victory. No wonder the Democrats got played by the Saudis. They're that stupid. Now, trend lines in Wisconsin, in Arizona, Georgia, even Washington State and New Mexico show key races that the Democrats thought they had in the bag 2 months ago are either deadlocked or conservatives have the momentum now. In fact, the Democrats' deflect and distract strategy was such a loser that they're now having to drop boatloads of cash in New York to try to save Kathy Hochul. Of course, they can't admit the real reason that they're scrambling, right? It's their own stupid decision to hand the keys to the party to the far left. Which is why it's 8 days away from election night, and the best Democrats can do is quote Liz Cheney and sputter about QAnon on cable shows that have become parodies of themselves. Only a tiny sliver of America even knows what QAnon is. But I'm telling you what, they sure as hell know that they're paying every week a lot more just to keep their car on the road and food on the table. The party of FDR and JFK, man, it's lost its way. They're stuck in a delusional time warp, hating on Trump and muttering about Charlottesville. And now they're adding the Pelosi attack to their reasons that you should keep them in office? Now, how twisted and sick is that? But it's become their stock and trade. And it's a heck of a lot easier than confronting the truth. That Americans are tired of games and they want results. 1 in 3 want the economy fixed. They want that to be the top priority. And on both the economy and gas prices, 36% of Americans trust Republicans more than Democrats. That is 12 and 14 points higher than the percentage of people who trust the Democrats on those issues. So Democrats aren't going to rebuild trust by just smearing conservatives in the aftermath of a horrible attack. And they're not going to win next week or in 2024 if they spend all their time trying to silence their opposition. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.